Hey guys, check out Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp, a fully updated second edition, reviewed and revised by an expert panel of certified Italian wine ambassadors from across the globe. The book also includes an edition by Professore Attilio Scienza, Italy's leading vine geneticist. To pick up a copy today, just head to Amazon.com or visit us at mamajumboshrimp.com.
Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today we travel to Lombardy, to the Oltrepo Pavese, the other side of the Po, to visit Tenuta Mazzolino and to meet my guest, Francesca Seralvo. Thank you so much for joining me today, Francesca. How are you?
Ciao, Marc. Thank you very much. I'm very well. And how are you?
I'm very well, too. The sun is shining here in England. We've been having a run of very, very good weather after a pretty miserable spring and winter.
Yeah, the same as here.
Yeah. Now, Francesca, first of all, let's take our listeners to Oltrepo Pavese, an area some people may not know. So tell us where it is, why it's special as a wine region, why it's special as a place to live.
So, Oltrepo Pavese, it's a wine region in Lombardy. And we are very close to Piedmont area, so we are same terroir, let's say. And exactly to locate the area, we are 1 hour south of Milan, just to show you where exactly we are. And it's a very important region, especially for Pinot Noir, because after Burgundy and after Champagne, we are the third area in the world for Pinot Noir.
Okay. Goodness me, I didn't realize that. That's incredible.
And this is because French people in the 18th century were very present in Piemonte. And as I told you, we are very close to Piemonte. And they came here with the first plant of Pinot Noir. And since that time, Pinot Noir sets very well in the area. And so we have now more than 3,000 hectares of Pinot Noir in the area. So we are a very, very important area for Pinot Noir.
Tell us the story of Tenuta Mazzolino. It's a fascinating story born out of friendship.
Exactly, yes, because the story of Tenuta Mazzolino with my family starts approximately 50 years ago, because my grandfather, he was French and he was moved to Milan for work. And as all the French people, he was very passionate about wine. And he has actually 4 children, and we are 12 cousins. So we are a very, very big family. And when he has been moved to Milan for work, his goal was to find a place to produce his own wine, and at the same time where he could reunited all his big family, so a big place where we could go all together. And he found this hill just I told you 1 hour south from Milan. And this little hill, everyone used to call it the hill of Pinot Noir. So he felt completely in love with the hill, with the area, and he decided to buy the hill, where you have to imagine a hill with all the vineyard all around the hill, and on top of the hill, a house and the winery. The house and the winery was there by far before my grandfather arrived here, and he bought the little hill, we have 20 hectares of vineyard, and he starts to produce his own wine in 1970, 1980s, let's say. So the first bottle of Pinot Noir, the Noir, as the wine that we produced, went on the market in 1985, so almost 40 years ago. When my grandfather arrived at Tenuta Mazzolino, the vineyard of Pinot Noir was already planted here. But in the area, as I told you, there was already a lot of Pinot Noir planted, but the tradition of the area was to vinificate this Pinot Noir in white and sparkling. Okay, this was not really the idea of Pinot Noir of my grandfather, who was, as I told you, he was French. So one day, my grandfather had two very, very good friends, important friend in the world of wine, because the name of this friend was Giacomo Bologna, Luigi Veronelli. And they told to my grandfather, listen, in this place, with this vineyard, with this terroir, with this exposure, with this soil, you have to vinificate your Pinot Noir in red. You don't have to produce this like traditional Pinot Noir, white, sparkling, that in the area people used to do. You have to produce a great Pinot Noir, red Pinot Noir, like traditional Burgundy Pinot Noir. And my grandfather loved immediately this idea. And he was one of the first in the area that started to produce Pinot Noir in red.
Okay, Francesca, that's a fascinating story. And just for our listeners who may not be familiar, Luigi Veronelli was, of course, one of Italy's greatest wine writers, producing the Veronelli Guide every year, a real expert in wine. And Giacomo Bologna, of course, this great legendary winemaker in Piedmont, who was, again, a pioneer and winemaker. So your grandfather had very good friends who knew wine very, very well. Now, Francesca, an interesting chapter to the story is that your grandfather actually chose you to take over the company, and you were pursuing a completely different career. Did you always envisage that you would one day devote yourself to wine and to the family wine estate?
I actually, the story is that I would have loved to, but I was not sure that my grandfather would have choose me, because my mother ran the winery, the estate, for 20 years, and my dream was to succeed my mother in this work. But as I told you, we are 12 cousins, and it wasn't sure that it was me or my turn after my mother. So I studied law. I became a lawyer, and after 10 years of this kind of career, my grandfather called me and he says, okay, so if you want, I choose you to go and work in the winery. So and I immediately changed life, and I came immediately in Mazzolino. Actually, I grew up here. I used to go at Vinitaly Fair when I was 10 years old with my mother, and so it was a little bit in my already in my life, the winery, but it was not my current job. So now everything changed. Yeah. 8 years ago, I started working in Mazzolino in 2015. So yes, now things have changed.
So, in a way, Francesca, it's now a dream for you. You've always hoped that this would happen, and now you're actually doing what you really love. Francesca, you've assembled a really good team around you. Your winemaker, Kyriakos, for example.
Yes, I am very, very lucky because Mazzolino is a small family. Everyone, all the people that works in Mazzolino are here since 30 years, 25 years. And so it's very, very stable team, people that really know perfectly the winery, the vineyard. And so it's very, very, it has been a pleasure to start to work with the team like that. And yes, one of the most important person that help us in the winemaking is Kyriakos Kinigopoulos. And this is a funny story because in 1999, when my grandfather started to produce wine in 1980s, yes, and it, like, after 20 years, he decided that he wanted to improve his Pinot Noir, and he decided to call someone who could help him. And reading the newspaper, he was reading the Figaro, the French newspaper, and he wrote that there was this Greek enologist that was completely revolutionating Burgundy with a new technique, with a modern technique, and his name was Kyriakos Kinigopoulos. My grandfather decided to call him immediately, and Kyriakos was 30 years old, very young, and now he still work in Mazzolino. He comes here every 2 months approximately, and he still continue to help us in the winemaking process. And he came here for the first time in November 1999, and he is a really, really important person, a key person of Mazzolino. Yes, I have to say that he really respect the work that we do in the vineyard.
So the cultivation of the vineyard is completely organic now. Is that a decision you made?
Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
Is a decision we have always, I mean, my mother used to cultivate in an organic way. What I have accomplished in this year is the bureaucratic certification, because we always manage the vineyard in an organic way, but now we are completely certificate. So I complete only the office part, I would say, but yes, we always have been organic.
Well, let's discuss your wines, Francesca. I had the chance to taste your flagship Noir Pinot Nero dell'Oltrepo Pavese just last night. It's a wine that really lies at the soul of Tenuta Mazzolino, isn't it? It's this expression that your grandfather wanted to produce. I thought it was a beautiful wine. It has gorgeous fruits, raspberry, strawberry, fine tannins, really lovely, long and elegant finish. And as you have already talked about, I found it very Burgundian in its sleek smoothness, a beautiful expression of Pinot Noir from the Oltrepo Pavese.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Noir is our flagship wine, I would say, and it comes from one single vineyard that we have on top of our hill. And since ever, I mean, the Noir has always made from this vineyard, so it's very interesting also to taste the past vintage. And Noir, as I was saying, Kyriakos really respect the work that we do in the vineyard. But when he arrived in Mazzolino, he gave us some little French tricks, I would say. So he really import the French tradition in the winery of Mazzolino. And so we pick the grapes by hand, of course. We do the alcoholic fermentation in stainless steel tank, and then the Noir goes in the barrique that we pièce, I would say, from Burgundy, that we buy directly in Burgundy, and we use only 20% of new oak every year. And so we try to keep the fruit, the freshness, the elegance of the Pinot Noir. This is a little bit our challenge and our goal.
Okay, well, I think you've done that extremely successfully. Francesca, I love the label of Noir. Tell us about who designs your label. It's a beautiful, it looks like a woodcut almost, a beautiful design. Tell us about this label and about your label designer.
Yes, the label. I never changed the label since the beginning. So the label that you can see now, it's the label from the first bottle of the Noir. The designer of the label was the son-in-law of Luigi Veronelli. He was a very young graphic designer at that time. His name was Bersanetti. And after the label of Mazzolino, he designed a lot of label in Italy of the most important winery you can imagine. The things that have changed in Mazzolino was the bottle, because at the beginning, my grandfather used to bottle the Pinot Noir in a bottle, a Bordeaux bottle, a Bordelaise bottle. And when Kyriakos arrived in 1999, he says, I never see a Pinot Noir in the Bordelaise bottle, so just change the bottle immediately and put a Bourgognot bottle, let's say. So the label never changed, but the bottle changed at some point.
Okay, so this link with Burgundy is still very strong. And I guess that also explains why your white wine is made with Chardonnay. Tell us in just a few words about Blanc.
Yes, Blanc, it was a project of my grandfather. When he arrived in Mazzolino, he found a terroir where Pinot Noir was already here, and he thinks that if Pinot Noir grows well, Chardonnay must grows well as well. So he planted 3 little vineyards of Chardonnay, and we produce now, I mean, since the beginning, but even now, a Chardonnay in a traditional Burgundian method that is called Blanc. It's exactly a French traditional way of vinificating Chardonnay, with the 20% of new oak, little barrel, French barrel, and the alcoholic fermentation is directly made in the barrel, and I mean, very easy and traditional way.
Okay, thank you. Now, Francesca, I'm hearing about these very Burgundian wines in style, but of course they are rooted in the terroir of Oltrepò Pavese, which has its own tradition, its own wine, but also its own food traditions. Let's talk a little bit about the gastronomy of Oltrepò Pavese and how your wines pair with some of the local foods.
Yes, we are in a hilly region, but just behind us we have in the Pianura Padana, let's say, where the main and most important food is the rice, the risotto. And so our wine paired perfectly with every kind of risotto that we usually cook here. And the other very, very important product that we have here, it's salame di Varzi, which is a very important and small but super good production of salami here in the area.
Oh, I bet that's wonderful with a slice of that salame with a glass of the Pinot Noir. Francesca, let's talk about wine hospitality at Tenuta Mazzolino. Can our listeners have a tour and wine tasting with you? And what hospitality do you offer? I know you have a beautiful villa that can be available.
Absolutely. We offer to everyone under a reservation tasting and visit of the vineyard, of the winery, which is very nice and historical because the winery was already here before the arrival of my grandfather. And we also have, as you were saying, a nice villa that we rent for special occasion, for wedding parties, and even small events. So everyone is welcome here in Mazzolino for a easy tour and tasting, or for more than that. And we organize what people need.
Well, thank you so much, Francesca. It's a wonderful area. Your wines are wonderful based on the beautiful Noir that I sampled. And I really appreciate you taking our listeners to Oltrepo Pavese, to telling the story of Tenuta Mazzolino, this wine estate that came out of friendship, explaining your wines and the food and hospitality. It's somewhere I haven't been back to in many years, and I would love to return. So perhaps we'll have the chance to meet again soon. In the meantime, mille grazie e arrivederci.
Thank you very much, Mark. And I wait for you here in Mazzolino whenever you want, and we can visit Oltrepo Pavese again together.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, Francesca. A presto.
Ciao, Mark. Thank you very much.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.